Welcome to the Lion's Den. We are back. We back with the champ, Amenhotep and my aunt, Yasha. My aunt Yasha. He's a heavy hitter. Hey, he didn't bang with some of the best ones. Some of the best. Oswald Crazy and some of them type of names. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's what it's about, the Lion's Den. We like to come in together, you know, and great minds, hey, come together and intellectually spar. You see what I'm saying? So I want to welcome everybody to the Lion's Den. We got the champ, the new champ, Amenhotep Rock. We got one of our top contenders in the building, Yasha, aka Terry. But before we get it in, I want to show God Beloved some love and play one of his songs real quick, and then we're gonna get to it, everybody. That's what we're gonna do. Yeah, that's God Beloved. He's one of the lions. You know, he hang out in the Lion's Den. He been busy on the road and all that, I guess. You know, I don't know if he got a little too big for his britches to hang out with the lions, so I'm gonna have to holler at my. But anyway, go ahead and turn the cameras on, fellas, so everybody can see what we're working with. You know, this is gonna be. We got a couple of heavy hitters in the building. I want each of you guys to go ahead and introduce yourself. I'm gonna follow back.
My name is Yasha Whitfield. I've been studying the biblical, the Bible, all of my life, probably about 40 years. Out of 48 years of my life, I've been studying them for about 41 of them, basically ever since I've learned how to read. I've been studying. I started out as a Pentecostal minister. From that, I evolved to a Messianic Hebrew, and today I am just a straight Old Testament Benzodaki Israelite. Okay, I called this meeting here because I have some questions that I'd like to ask you so I can understand where you're coming from. I am not a Kemetic scholar. I know very little about Kemet. It is not my goal here to debate or to argue or even discuss Kemet, not from my standpoint. I do not talk about things that I don't know about. I only listen when it comes to things that I don't know about. And if I do talk, it would be in the series of asking questions to get a basic understanding. One of the problems that I see, and the reason why I see you are the champion to this day, is because many Israelites, when they debate people, they come with these straw man arguments. If any man was to come with the Israelite straw man argument prepared for me, he will lose miserably. And this is the reason why I called this, because I do not argue straw man arguments with nobody. I debate the individual and I discuss with the individual. And this is what I want to do. I have a series, maybe about 12 questions that I would like to ask you. That being stated, I yield the mic.
All right. That's Yasha, a.k.a. Terry. All right, now the champ is in the building. The champ is here. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Unmute your mic, family.
Peace, everyone. My name is Amenhotep Tehuti. I've been teaching for several years, a few decades now. I teach Sabayit Mayat, which are the instructions of Ma'at. I'm here as Lion's Den, for those who don't know, because I had my very first interaction with Judah Natsera. At the end of that interaction, which is me just introducing who I was, he challenged me to a debate, which inevitably had him lose his title to 5 judges that actually all acknowledge the Bible in some way. So now I'm the champion. I'm here to discuss with the brother Yasha any questions that he may have. This is not a debate. I just want to hear what he wants to talk about. And I'm open. I'm glad to be on the Lion's Den. I like this. I'm promoting it to a lot of people. And I want people to know about this because I want people to be able to discuss openly and debate and sharpen their skills and their swords, or to learn regardless of what their belief is. Okay, peace.
All right. So basically, Yasha is gonna ask you a few questions. Kind of fill you out, see what you believe in, what you don't believe in, and you go from there.
Okay.
Yes.
My first question I wanted to ask was how long have you been studying? You kind of answered that in your introduction. You said several decades. Several, you mean like 70 years? Several? I mean, like how many decades would you say that you've been studying?
I've been teaching since 1993. I've been teaching for over 20 years. I've been teaching since 93. I became an official teacher in 1995.
Okay. Being that we are in a European paradigm, being that we speak a European language, we read and write a European language, what is your take on higher education, like colleges, universities, and things of that nature?
Okay. Also, before we start, Jeremiah Judah, I'm just seeing me on the screen. Is that how it's supposed to be, or is it the?
Oh, wait. Yeah, no. It was. There we go.
Okay.
My fault.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go.
Okay.
My fault.
If I understand the question properly, Yasha is asking, how do I feel about higher education?
Yeah, you basically, like in colleges, university, European education, basically.
Well, that actually depends on the topic. That actually really depends on the topic, because European education could cover everything from math to geometry, geology, science, English. It depends. I don't send my children to any European school, so I don't advocate so-called European education. But if someone is getting any type of paperwork in a mathematical educational forum in a European college, I wouldn't denounce that or speak badly upon it. I would give them the history of where math originated from, but I don't have any problem with European math per se. But European history, yes.
So, you basically would not advocate going to European colleges and universities studying Egyptology and stuff like that?
I would. It depends. It really depends on the situation. I speak to people that are going to colleges to become Egyptologists, and I would advocate that, because we need some more of our people in that position, so they can go over to Kemet and represent and see some of the lies, and then come back and correct them. But it depends on the situation. I would promote that in certain circumstances. Not as the end all education, of course.
Do you believe that you are a scholar?
Yeah, scholar. I've been to schools and I teach. I've taught scholars. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you believe the scholarship should be validated?
That depends, because the validation is the logical fallacy of appealing to the masses. So that really depends, because you could be validated.
Let me better ask that.
Okay.
There's a lot of people, as you see today, that are Facebook scholars, YouTube scholars. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
And in my journey, there are certain disciplines that I come across where you need a teacher. Okay? there's certain disciplines that you will catch hell learning upon learning this discipline by yourself. I'm asking you, do you believe that you should be validated, and if so, who validated you?
Where's my screen go? Okay. Okay, wonderful. So as far as being a scholar, a scholar actually just means a student.
Yeah.
So,
meaning that you would have to have a teacher. Who was your teacher?
I've had a few teachers. At one point in time, I was under a man named Malachi, and during my early years, so I've learned under the teaching.
Is that Malachi New York?
Yeah, I used to live with him. I've learned under
I put him as well. That's another heavyweight I've debated. But okay, let me get to these other questions here. You say Malachi York. Who else would you say were your teachers?
I've learned under, as far as studying wise, I've learned under Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark. As far as personally, just when I was young, my only personal one-on-one teacher of religion was Malachi. As far as the person that
do you know how to read the hieroglyphics?
To the best of my ability. It takes several years. I've been translating the Purim Haru since 2006. So I read it to the best of my ability.
How did you learn this? Because what I'm trying to figure out is, did you have a teacher there showing you the craft and how this stuff is supposed to go, or did you learn this through osmosis?
Kind of both. I do comparative linguistic studies, and I've also learned from a teacher. But as far as my understanding of the Medu Neter, I've learned mostly through comparative linguistics.
Comparative linguistics. What languages would you compare the Medu Neter to?
Let's take for example, I don't want to call it Hebrew because there actually is no language anciently called Hebrew, but let's say the Punic Canaanean language that we're calling Torah.
You talk about the Canaanite language, the Canaanite language?
Yes, which is a mutation of Medu Neter. If you look at some of the words such as the Samek, which means stability, it is the exact symbol of the Djed and Kemet, which is the stability of the spine. So I can do comparative and look at the Samek and understand why it means stability and not just say it means stability for no reason. I give it its origins because the Djed symbol of stability existed much longer than the Canaanite Samek and the Hebrew Samek, what is modern day Hebrew now. I compare the languages.
So you believe that learning the Canaanite language
will
help you to understand?
Hold on. Everybody mute their mic is not speaking. I just want to let the audience know that number one contender, Onias, the 7 Judah Nazareth, has joined the building. And we got Dewan African Knight in here. You know, he kicked the ass on Maccabees TV. He proved that Esau is not the white man. When he whooped Jeremiah, I think he said to Yah's ass. I want to welcome y'all to the show. But let's let these brothers speak for a minute and y'all can jump in here shortly.
Okay, Daween and Onias 7th. Oh, Judah Naz. Onias 7th is Judah Naz. Yes, he declined the rematch publicly. Okay. Continue.
He changed his mind. But we'll get to that.
Oh, he changed his mind.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the Phoenician alphabet. I actually speak Phoenician. I speak Arabic. I speak Hebrew. How I discovered that I speak Phoenician is that I speak Arabic and Hebrew, and I came across Phoenician scripts. And because when I came across these scripts, I understood every word. Somehow Phoenician is like a mixture of Hebrew and Arabic. if you can understand both Hebrew and Phoenician and Arabic, you can understand Phoenician. It's very close, like, to both of those languages.
And that's exactly, you're exactly right, because the Arabic and the Hebrew descended from it. That's why it's very close, because that's the parent language of both of those languages. So you're right, yes.
So what that would lead me to ask is, would you say the Phoenician language is closer to the Kemetic actual speaking language that they had in their society, or would you say, or would you say that Coptic is closer to the Kemetic language?
Which one is closer as far as the speaking sentence of it would be the Coptic. As far as the symbols of it, that would be the Canaanean symbols. As far as symbol-wise, that's an interesting question, because in ancient times the language was understood first through symbols and pictographs, and then it became sentence structure. So it's closer in one regard, but the Coptic is closer in another, more recent regard. Yes.
So would it be safe to say that ancient Kemet was a place that had multiple languages going on, like a metropolis?
Ancient Kemet, no.
You had the Kemetic language, you had the Phoenician language. Both of those had to have been going on in Kemet, correct?
In ancient Kemet, no. At some point in time when Phoenicians came in, yes, but in ancient Kemet, in the oldest Kemet, no. Kemet has been around for thousands and thousands of years, so there's been a lot of immigration. There's been a lot of mixture of other cultures entering.
Would you say that they were paradigm shifts in these languages when they were spoken in that land, or did they coexist simultaneously? This is what I'm asking.
Oh, did people speak Phoenician at a time where Amenhotep was spoken? Yes.
In that land.
Yes.
What about Hebrew?
There's what are you calling Hebrew? The modern day
I'm calling Hebrew. The language of the Tanakh.
Oh, that's extremely recent. That was not spoken in the time of ancient Kemet simultaneously whatsoever. No.
How can you prove that linguistically this is not the same language as the Phoenician? Because I see it as identical, even now. I'll give you an example, okay? If let's say the sentence "the big dog," a simple three-word sentence, okay? In Hebrew, I would say hakalib hagadol. In Phoenician, I would say hakalib hakabir. In Arabic, I would say al-kalib al-kabir. Do you see the similarities there?
Absolutely.
Brother Yasha, could you tell the audience what you just said?
What was that now?
Could you tell the audience what you just said in those three languages?
I was giving an example of the closeness between Hebrew, Arabic, and Phoenician. And I gave a three-word sentence, like the big dog or the big house or whatever. Okay.
Gotcha.
Now, in Hebrew, I will go with the oldest language first. In Phoenician, the Phoenician way of saying the big dog is hakalib hakabir. In Hebrew, it would be hakalib hagadol. In Arabic, it would be al-kalib al-kabir. So I'm demonstrating the closeness and the relationship of these languages. And I'm showing him how that the Hebrew and Phoenician is pretty much the same language today as much as it's been thousands of years ago.
Okay, as long as you use the words pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, being that I speak both of these languages, you know, I'm able to see that these languages are pretty much the same. if you understood Hebrew, you could understood Phoenician. The crazy part about it is, if you understood Hebrew, you can't understand Arabic.
Yes.
It's kind of funny how that goes. If you can understand this language, you can understand this one, but you can't understand this one. But you can understand this one and can't understand that one. It's kind of crazy how that works.
So which one came first?
I would like to say Phoenician.
Phoenician?
Yes.
Yeah, because the Canaanites are older than the Israelites.
Exactly. Which is.
There's some scholars that say the Hebrew language came first. I mean, that's what I read.
There are those who say that, and I've read that and I've heard that, but I've never seen no evidence to substantiate that.
So Phoenician would be the parent language of Hebrew.
What I do know is that the Canaanite language was spoken all throughout Ugarit and all throughout Mesopotamia, all throughout the Middle East, all throughout Africa, all throughout Ethiopia. You know, the Canaanite language actually started in Ethiopia.
I completely agree with what you're saying. You somebody who knows Hebrew. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I have to go outside because they're in there doing something and I don't want to be interrupted. So I'm out in the car.
That ain't gonna mess up your Wi-Fi, is it?
No, I ain't gonna mess up nothing. I'm right outside the router.
All right. Okay. Well, hey,
hold on 1 second.
You want African name?
Wait 1 second, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So I absolutely agree with you, and even though these three languages are very similar, according to dates and archaeological finds, as you call evidence. Yes, evidence. I agree that the Canaanean predates what we're calling modern day Hebrew, Aramic, and those two would predate what we call Nabatean Arabic, the oldest Arabic. They do all have times where one did not. So I agree with you. Yes, you're right. Mm-hmm.
All right, I have another question. Do you believe that the Bible was stolen or plagiarized from ancient Kemet?
Yes, not the whole Bible though. There's different Bibles.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that. Can you explain to me what you mean by that? Like, I mean, I do know that there's different Bibles, but that is kind of vague. Tell me what.
Okay,
which one would you say that is not a plagiarism?
The father of Ashurbanipal, and these men conquered Kemet. These kings conquered Kemet. At that time in Nineveh, they had the largest library known to the world. And when they conquered Kemet, they absorbed the Kemetic libraries of information, and then they were conquered. And after the Persians ruled Kemet, then Alexander came in 332 and conquered Darius. And now Alexander had access to the largest libraries in the world. He had a combination of the over 30 plus Sugagi, what the white man calls Sumerian tablets, mixed with the libraries of Kemet, and he created the library of Alexander. So him and the Ptolemies, which are the men he left in charge, had full access to the world's libraries of creation stories, stories of ancient prophets, and from there they started formulating, stealing information, taking information, because all of the documents and evidence of the Ptolemies and Alexander show that they were very interested and worshipped Kemetians. So they formed a council called the Alexandrian Council, and from there created a book called the Septuagint, which is and a god called Serapis, which are the composite gods and composite books that are a composition of both the Sugagi stories with the biblical stories mixed with Kemetic stories mixed with their own fabricated stories, and thus we have the first Bible called the Septuagint.
You said some things that I kind of want to get into, but I'm kind of get up out of that because I got a lot of questions. I have a few more questions that I like to ask.
What number question are we on right now?
This is number 4 you at right here.
We're just on, this is
Okay.
just 4? What's happening?
Yeah.
I thought number 18 he got there.
Nice, at least.
Well, it seemed long because the elaboration of the answers, you know. As do you see? Okay, you see Christianity as the Bible as a stolen. You do see it as plagiarized works. You mentioned some of them. Which words do you don't see as a plagiarized work?
The books of Esther is an example. The book of Esther is not plagiarized from Kemet, at least. That is
So you mean that there's certain books in the Bible that may not be plagiarized, as opposed to certain Bibles not plagiarized?
Yes, because over 500,000 papyruses were burnt by the Romans, so we don't even have the comparative religious papyri to compare to where a lot of the Bible was taken from. So after the Bible was taken and composed to create the Septuagint, the Romans came in and burnt down the Library of Alexander. So I can't prove, for example, the whole book of Malachi came from a Kemetic papyrus, or the whole book of Ezra came from a Sugagi tablet. So because I can't verify that, I only discuss that which I can verify.
Terry, hey, Sister Janice, are you trying to come in? You might go out and then come back in because it says device not connected. Sorry about that, y'all. Go ahead.
Where was I at there? So what you're telling me is that there is books, there are scrolls, not scrolls, there are papyri and hieroglyphics that mimic whole books and chapters of the Bible.
No, that's what I didn't say.
Oh, okay. So we can't say that it's a plagiarism then. But anyway, I'll move on to something. I'll move on to something else. That's debate type stuff.
One second. We can't do the slippery slope logical fallacy when we make general sweeps. That's something that I don't do, and reasons why it's hard for me to lose debates. Even though this is not a debate, but we can't do the logical fallacy slippery slope, which is to...
Yeah, we can't do it. Can you explain to me where slippery slope went at?
When you did the non sequitur, when you said because I said something about not all the books were taken, you made another sweeping comment of not all books were that it's not a plagiarism. That's called.
Yeah, I was stating that if there's not whole books like the book of Genesis, the book of Psalms, the book of this, we can't say that that's plagiarism by the definition of plagiarism. That's not slippery slope. That's a fact, because it's not plagiarism. And that's not a logical fallacy. That's a fact. But what do you say about the children of Israel? Do you say they existed, they didn't exist? Or would you say that their spirituality was adopted from Egypt? Yes or no?
Okay. Did the children of Israel exist? They eventually existed, yes, because they exist now. Did they exist in ancient times? No. So yes, the children of Israel exist because there are people today calling themselves children of Israel. There is a group of people calling themselves children of Israel.
Wait a minute, man. Hold up. Wait a minute. Stop the press. I mean, you guys stop the press right now.
Hey, but see,
you telling me, champ?
But you see, all of these questions.
I'm
What's
You
going
see
on?
where I'm going? These are questions that are designed for topic for debate.
Yes,
I see it.
exactly.
Sister Janice, you probably need to go out and come back in if you want to try to get on, sis. All right, go ahead, y'all.
So, at any point, would you say the Israelite spirituality is stolen, adopted, or plagiarized from Egypt?
Okay, now, so to go back to what you said when you said it's not a logical fallacy and a slippery slope, you said if the whole book is not taken, that it's not plagiarism. That's actually not the definition of plagiarism. So,
can you read the definition of plagiarism for us?
Absolutely, sure. I'll share the screen. We'll go to the etymological definition of plagiarism. Some of you guys can see the screen. Some of you guys can see the screen.
I can't see the screen. I'm intelligent enough
There
to
you
know.
go. There you go. All right.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see that. I'm on the phone, so somebody has to
You should be able to
read
see
that.
it. Can everybody else see it?
I got a small screen. I can't see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, I see the image, but these words are like mega small.
Sister Janice, you hold up, everybody. Sister Janice, you're holding up a spot. Can you go out and if you want to come back in because it says device is not connected, sister. All right.
Okay. The wrongful appropriation.
You said what?
Wrongful appropriation of another's ideas, writings, artistic designs. Giving forth as their own. It's a definition of plagiarism, which has nothing to do with taking a whole book. I'd like you to correct that and acknowledge that your definition is incorrect.
Okay, cool. But I'm still going down the same. I'm going down the same path because I mean I don't know nothing about Egypt like that. So I'm asking you what ideas the Israelites stole or plagiarized from Egypt?
Wow.
What ideas? What artwork? All of those things. What would you say that the Israelites plagiarized from Egypt?
I'll give something because I'm not going to give out my whole topic of I'm not going to give out my whole ammunition of debates because these questions are being asked respectfully. You're being very respectful and logical, but they are being asked.
That's what I am. That's what I do.
Yes, they are being asked to build a debate. They're not being asked as a student. So as I'm not going to give you a lot. Okay. So
I mean, I just want your take. I mean, I'm intelligent enough to go dig up the answers for myself. I'm just discussing with you to see where you at and what's your take. Okay, don't get it twisted like I need your answers. I do research just like you do. So I don't need your answers. I am trying to get an idea of where you're coming from. That's what I'm doing.
okay.
Okay. What I'm trying to get to is that I don't see the Israelite spirituality as the same or even close by far from that of Egypt. Do you believe in life after death?
Okay, one moment, please, brother, because we're still on the first question. I'm trying to do a screen share. I'm going to do a screen share.
All right. Okay, while you doing that, hey, Sister Janice, your device is not working, sister. I don't know. You could maybe jump out and try one more time. Because it says device not connected. I'm just letting you know I'm not ignoring you. I see you. All right, go ahead, everybody.
Okay.
See, I'm asking, let me make this clear. I'm asking this question really is connected to the second question. When I asked about Israelite spirituality, have they plagiarized it from Egypt, Kemet? Did they plagiarize their spirituality from Kemet? And I say that to give an example, like like you know, said Christians believe in life after death. I can see Egypt. From what I know, they believe in life after death. I'm asking you, do you believe in life after death?
Okay, I'm going to screen share. Okay, and then I'll do this.
And do you believe that Israelites took that spirituality from Egypt?
One second, my brother. I'm going to get to your question about what was an example of plagiarism, but I like to present facts. Okay, so I'm going to screen share. And tell me if you guys can see the screen. Can you guys see the screen? Can everybody see my screen yet?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Has anybody heard of the Hezekiah Bulla? 3 millimeter.
No, not Bulla.
No.
Okay, this is King Hezekiah, not Bulla.
Okay, this is a piece of Israelite archaeology. The Bulla excavated in 2015 was dated to the reign of King Hezekiah between 716 and 786 BC. There's the inscription Paleo-Hebrew. That's that pre-Hebrew that we were discussing, belonging to Hezekiah, as it says in quote, belonging to Hezekiah, son of Ahaz, king of Judah. Okay, this is the Hezekiah, what they call the Hezekiah Bulla. It's a good piece of archaeology. We're going to go to, I'm going to pull up the museum image of the Hezbollah, and I hope this shows up. If it doesn't, we'll just go to online because, okay, here we go. Here's the Hezekiah Bulla. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Okay. This is the Hezekiah Bulla with that ancient Hebrew script talking about Hezekiah and Ahaz. This is a well-known piece of what they call Israelite archaeology. Can everybody see the screen, please?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to know, everybody can see the screen? Wonderful. Okay, what we're looking at here are wings with the sun disk in the middle. And to the left, what I'm moving my mouse over, what would you guys call this symbol right here? What's this called? Anybody?
That's the
That's the
What is this? Now, when Ahati was wearing this symbol yesterday, the brother Daquan was attacking this symbol, saying, "Get that penis off your neck, brother. Get that."
Yeah, because in a lot of these fact check groups, in a lot of these Facebook groups, they say that represents the penis and the vagina.
Yeah.
How true is that?
Beautiful, wonderful. Okay, good. So here we have the wings.
I've heard comedians say that.
Okay, beautiful. So everybody knows that this image here has its origins in Kemet. This is not an image that's taught in any part of the Torah, right? Everybody agree on that? Is this a Torah image? Is this an engraved image? Okay, good. How about this image right here? Is this a Israelite image right here?
What is that? Is that a...
It's the sun disk with the wings with the three arms coming down. Anybody ever seen it, this before anywhere?
Maybe in Sumerian culture?
I've seen the sun disk, but I've never seen it with the wings before.
Okay, this is
they used to wear the sun disk on a hat.
Yeah, so this is the Kemetic symbol called Heru Behutet, and it is the flying Heru. It is the sun disk found all over the temples of Edfu in Kemet, and it's a very popular symbol coming from Kemet right beside another Kemetic image, which is the Ankh, the No Hebrew Israelite claims. Yet this is an archaeological find. Hezekiah, they call the Hezekiah Bulla, with Hezekiah's name on it, that they call an Israelite artifact, and we see the ancient Hebrew written there. Now,
okay, is that because he was in allegiance? Was he like a vessel or something for Egypt?
Now the thing is that
yes, he was in allegiance with Egypt according to the text.
Oh, okay. This Hezekiah, what we would call in Kemet Artush or a Shen, which is when you have a king's name inside of a circle, with the Kemetic images to mark who a king is. White people today call this a cartouche. We call this a shen. This is known throughout every single pharaoh had one. It's this same circle here with the Kemetic images and their name written in it, and the white man calls this a cartouche. Here we have an Israelite image with the circle and the king's name and his descendants with the Heru Behutep symbol and the Ankh on it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go back to my screen. And then let me take off screen share, stop sharing.
Now, my question becomes, was not Kemet a dominant power in the world?
Okay, I wasn't quite finished yet. Can we just acknowledge that this is an Israelite bearing Kemetic symbols as an Israelite king? Yes or no?
I mean, yeah, I see the Israelite writings. I see the Egyptian Ankh.
What does the word Hezekiah mean?
The strength of the Most High.
Is the part that means the Most High Yah? Is that the part in his name?
You say what now?
The part in Hezekiah's name that is God's name, is that the Yah part, Hezekiah? Is that it?
No, because in Hebrew his name is Yehezkel. It's not Hezekiah. That's a mistranslation. In Hebrew, the name is Yehezkel. And the L is in there.
Whoa, Yehezkel. So the L is the part that is the Most High, you're saying? The L part, is that the most?
The last part.
Okay, good. So we have a king that is acknowledging that he acknowledges the Most High. He is marketing or representing Kemetic images of other gods, of Heru, Behutet, and the Ankh. Would you call this influence, plagiarism? What's the word that you would like to use for this?
I wouldn't use plagiarism. I'll tell you, I don't have a word for it. I have an idea that I can express with you of what is taking place. I see that.
Plagiarism again? Finish up plagiarism.
But I don't see those as stolen. I don't see those as stolen ideas or anything.
Oh.
These people were, if Egypt was a dominant power, Egypt taught just like America. America is a dominant power, and America's influence go all throughout this world. You can't say that these people stole American influence when these people were influenced by that. They were taught that, and they were educated by the Americans, and that's what I say happened with Egypt and all of the other surrounding provinces, because Israel and Canaan was up under Egyptian rule.
Regardless of what you say, the definition of plagiarism is the appropriation of another's ideas, writing, or artistic design. Do you see another idea? Do you see
my question? Hold on. It ain't regardless to what I say. If you speak in English, are you plagiarizing the white man's idea by using his language?
Yes.
I don't think so, bro.
Yes,
I don't think you're not plagiarizing his idea, and that idea will not stand up in nobody's court, bro.
Okay, listen.
That's your definition. That's your interpretation.
Listen, if you're walking, would you walk around with an ankh in the wings? Would you walk around with an ankh in the wings of Heru? Yourself?
No, maybe. I haven't done it, so I would say no.
And the reason why you wouldn't wear pagan symbols, as you call them, like would you walk around with the images of the American or Roman gods on your neck?
No.
America is the dominating force, but you wouldn't walk around with their gods, right? You don't walk around with Santa Claus on your neck, right? Okay. So this is an appropriation of another's culture on an Israelite stone with a king saying that he worships Yah, but yet has images of another god. What would you call that? What is that called if you have an image of another god in an Israelite? This is not just a symbol, this is an image of a whole other god.
I don't see that you saying that that's plagiarism is just like just saying like I'm plagiarizing because I got images of the deities on dollar bills inside my pocket that I utilize every day. I don't see that, bro.
No.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
not
Yes.
dollar. This is not dollar bills in your pocket. This is the stamp of a king, his seal. That
But it still has these pagan. It still has those same pagan symbols on it, sir.
On the Israelite stamp. What is the Israelite king doing with an ankh and the wings of Heru the god on his stamp? You justifying this?
Well, I'm not justifying that because I don't know who wrote that. I don't know whether Hezekiah made that. I don't know who. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who made that.
So let me say something. So what was the purpose of this seal? Was it because he was because he was working with Egypt, right?
So the purpose of the seals for the kings is to mark who they are. That's the actual purpose of king seals. It has their name and the symbols that they represent them.
So what I'm saying, was he working for Egypt? Like a vassal, you know.
Kemet has no, in Kemet, I've not seen any document of them working with a man named Hezekiah. I've not seen that.
So you're saying that this seal is not real?
No, the seal is absolutely real. The seal is real. In Kemet, I don't have the document of the story of Hezekiah. But what we do have is we have Israelites using Kemetic symbols, but promoting their own God. So Hezekiah is not promoting, in his name, he's not promoting Heru and Osiris, but yet he's using the symbols of Osiris and Heru Bahutep, promoting his name. This is the definition of plagiarism. You're taking another culture and putting it on your seal, but that's supposed to be idolatry. As a Hebrew Israelite, are you allowed to wear other gods on your neck, JJ?
No.
Okay. Next question.
All right, how y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
No, the next question from the brother. I don't know who that is talking. I'm only talking.
My next question. My next question is, which was, is the Israelite spirituality plagiarized? Their spirituality, the way that they worshipped, was that plagiarized from Egypt? And do you believe, as an example, like life after death? Do you believe in life after death? And did the Israelites plagiarize life after death from Egypt?
No. Plagiarize the life after death from Egypt? No. The understanding that there is a life after death came from Kemet. Is the Israelite story of life after death the same as the chapter in the Purim Haru that describes it? No. The concept that
I have to ask that question because the ancient Israelites did not even believe in life after death, period. No, they didn't believe in none of that spook. None of the ancient Israelites. But the Kemetans did. So what I'm trying to figure out is the Benzodaki, priestly Israelites, did not believe into life after death. The life after death came along with the Pharisees. Prior to that, after the second temple, before the second temple, none of that stuff was ever even heard of. And these Pharisees were not bloodline Israelite. Most of these people were converts from paganism. So they brought these paganisms, they interloped these paganisms into Hebrewism. And this is what, if you go back and study anything between the Pharisees and the Sadducees did not believe in the resurrection. They did not believe in none of this spiritual spooky stuff. They did not believe in life after death. And these were some of the arguments that are documented between the Pharisees and the Sadducees. The Sadducees were the original Israelites, and they did not practice life after death.
That's great. I'm not standing that the Israelite concept of life after death came from Kemet. That's fine with me.
That is when you're dealing with life after death, resurrection, that would be what we call to know spirituality. That the Israelites did not adopt their spirituality from Egypt.
Excuse me one moment. Yasha?
Do you believe in life after death? I didn't get an answer for that.
Yasha, can you excuse me one moment? I have to go into the next room and come right back. I'll be right back in a moment.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, while he's doing that, I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors. I ain't really our sponsor, but we rock with them. Hey, Moon, my brother Moon just says that. Oh, there you go. Let me let you in, brother. All right, I want to give a shout out to Brew News, Life Magazine, Sandpit Records, which is with Leo Neil Love, Think Productions, Black Jesus Radio, Black Beauty Inc., Lions Den Debate League, whoever else I'm missing, I'll catch you on the next rip. We love y'all for supporting the Lions Den. Hey, like I say, man, we all one big family. So anybody, he's away. Anybody on the panel want to say something real quick? Dewan African Knight, Izzy, Moon. Anybody want to say something while you away? Anybody?
Peace, what's up? I'm gonna say this. Don't call me Izzy unless you Michael Edwards. Unless you're trying to be Michael Edwards, please.
I thought that was your nickname, Israel Doctor.
Hey, you want that Michael Edwards, don't you, dog?
Yeah, I thought that was your nickname, bro. I hear everybody calling you that. My bad. I apologize. Israel Doctor.
My name is Carl Albert, the Israel Doctrine. Okay.
All right, Carl.
What is going on? Can someone else speak, or them two having a debate?
They're kind of trying to set up something, but if you want to, and they get close to the end, you can get in and say a few things. But did you have a quick question? What do you got to say? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm probably he can answer most of the questions because a lot of the questions I had wrote, he had answered some of them in the
opening round when he opened up.
He had answered them so I can answer them. I asked him.
All right.
So can I speak now? Okay, so did Joseph teach the Egyptians his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding when he was the second in command down in Egypt, based upon the literary text?
Yeah, he gonna tell you they ain't got no evidence of that.
Man, I asked him, can we just have him speak if he's willing to speak? If not, track the question and move on.
Yeah, I'll let you ask him, but I'd be willing to bet you his answer is going to be along the lines of that there's no evidence of that.
Brother, can he please answer it if he's willing to answer it?
He can't answer it now because he stepped away from the phone.
You know to move on.
He's back there.
Still talking and not giving him
He didn't know he was back. Hold on, we're not going to get no confusion up here. The brother's back, Terry. He's back.
I'm back. I'm back now. I'm back, brother Yasha.
Yes.
So you're not going to answer my question, huh?
I'm not sure what's going on, but brother Yasha,
yes, sir.
Were you done with the 12 questions?
I wasn't, but I could cut them short. One more good question I'd like to ask you. Does
y'all, I'm out because this is crazy.
That's cool.
You gotta have some patience, Israel Doctor. Everybody, hold up.
That's cool.
Could you answer Israel Doctor question real quick? Because he going through a thing. God dang. All right, damn, bro.
JJ, can you hear me?
Yeah, he gone.
Okay, yeah.
You come back and ask your question, Israel Doctor.
I came on here to speak with Yasha. Yasha's being very respectful with his tone, with his questions are logical. I'm answering them. I don't want a bunch of people jumping in. I don't want that chaos. Yasha has questions.
Okay, I respect that. Go ahead.
Okay.
Intimidating in Egypt, or Kemet or Egypt, however way you accept it, Misraim, that land, did they have strict dietary laws?
No.
What about agriculture? Did they have agricultural laws and things to teach you how to grow? How to, pretty much, do they teach agriculture? Is any stelas, any papyruses, any hieroglyphics, anything like that?
Sorry, and excuse me because I'm eating. I have to eat at certain times of the day.
Okay.
Excuse me for that. So as far as specific agricultural laws, the images that have been left behind by several Cometians show that they invented agriculture. So as far as as far as leaving specific agricultural laws, I have not come across the specific laws of a farmer. No, I just have proof that agriculture began.
How could you be sure without no evidence
Sure of what?
that they created this? That they created agriculture. Without no type of nothing pinpointing to that, how could you be sure?
You're asking a loaded question. You're saying without no type of evidence. There is evidence. There's archaeological evidence that shows the first oldest farming tools going back to Nile Valley and the Sugagi, which are the Sumerians. But as far you're asking me about the specific agricultural laws, that is the part I have not seen.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, like, did they have any type of papyruses? Well, pretty much, do they have any type of literature, writings, or anything that showed them and taught them how to till the land?
I think you what do they call it? What do they call this in debate school? Ad nauseum. Ad nauseum when you're asking the same question in another way.
Okay.
I've already answered that I have not.
Okay, good. I'm glad. Okay, good. I'm good. That's good. One more question, and I'm pretty much done.
Okay.
I have a friend of mine who will go to Egypt every year. He tells me that the pyramids are electric charged. Like when you walk in the pyramids, your hair will stand straight up on your head. Are you familiar with anything about Egypt being producers of electricity?
Well, the interesting thing about that question is that electricity is not really produced. Natural
Cultivated, created it, invented it. I mean, I may not be articulate enough to say what I'm trying to say, but I think you know where I'm going.
Well,
were they the first to deal with electricity? Did they deal with electricity?
Yes.
Okay.
What he's calling the pyramid was actually called the Aku, which means light. The actual original name for the pyramid means light itself, because they have found out that the pyramid is actually sitting on Earth Grid 1, which is a huge conductor of standing columnar waves. So there's natural electricity that actually comes from the Earth's magnetic field itself and the pyramid, or what they call the pyramid. Well, they call the pyramid from pyramidos, which literally means fire or energy in the middle. Pyramidos, but the original word is Aku. It was a light generator, conductor, a light conductor.
I got one more question.
Also,
one more and I'm done.
Yes, and also inside of the Akus and the temples, they've not found soot on the ceilings. So the way that ancient man would do any kind of artisan work or any kind of development in the dark before electricity is he would have to use some type of an oil lamp. That oil lamp naturally develops a soot that goes up, and the remnants of the soot, the chemical of the soot, is left there even if you paint over it. And they have not found the soot to show that they used any kind of oil lamp light up or any kind of fire to light up while they were building inside of these massive structures, but yet everything was perfectly precise. So they had some type of light. Yes.
Okay. The one more and I'm done. I promise. This is it. Okay. Okay. Now, from my research have landed me to where you said that electricity was in Egypt. I've also found batteries in India, ancient India. And yeah, they had batteries that was made out of vinegar.
Yes.
Okay, and now we talking about thousands of years ago. This is my question that I'm finna ask here. I had to lay that premise down. If during the Gentile period and the Enlightenment period here in America, you had white Freemasons, all going back from, again, the Enlightenment period all the way on up until the early 1900s, mid 1900s. You have people going back into our histories all around the world. I don't believe that it was just Kemet black. I believe that ancient India was Kushites, Hindu Kushites, meaning that they were black. I believe that the Samaritans and all of the ancient rulers of the world were black. They had this technology back then. Why is it that these white folks can go back into this time, ancient time, study our history, bring back all of this technology, but these black folks who are studying Kemet ain't bringing us nothing but talk? They're not bringing us things back that can empower us as a people.
Okay. Well, I'm going to address these non sequitur questions again, because you're asking a question based on something that happened in the past, saying, why is it that if, and then non sequituring that into what's going on today. Because somebody does something in the past doesn't represent what somebody's doing today. Those two things don't align. Because we were in a pure state in the past, our knowledge had been stolen, we can't expect the people of this day and time to equate to the same thing that we did in the past. We're actually
But that white man went back there and got electricity though. This is what I'm trying to say. We can't do it, but he can. How is that a non sequitur?
Remember the we is you too. You're part of the we.
Yeah, I'm a part of the we. I haven't studied it. I studied Hebrewism, and I went back and found things from the past that was able to help my people. This is why I'm asking, why are the people in Kemet, with all of this greatness in Kemet's past, how come they can't go back in that past and bring up some of that goodness for today? I have found ways to cure cancer and diseases based off of going back into the Hebraic past and following Hebraic rules and laws and things like that. I found all kind of breakthroughs by going through that stuff that has and does benefit my people today. I'm asking, why is it that people who study Kemet can't go back into Kemet and bring something out of that past to help us, empower us today? You say it can't happen, but it happened for Nikola Tesla.
Excuse me, brother. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
You went back into your past and found remedies to heal things. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, good. Are you asking me that topic? If myself.
No, what I'm asking is, I am able to go into the past. This is an example. You said these things can't happen. I am able to go into the past and extract from that greatness and bring some of that stuff to help my people today. I'm asking, why is black Kemetans not doing this when white people who are not even Kemet has done it all throughout Freemasonry? And we're talking about Nikola Tesla, that's not that long ago. That's not even 100 years ago.
You're asking a question with an assumption inside. You're saying, why haven't they? Are you asking, have we? Are you asking, why haven't we? That's an assumptive question. Can't ask her why.
I don't see it. I'm not asking. I don't see anything. I'm not assuming. I don't see anything. Every Kemetic doctor and teacher I've ever met ain't brought nothing to the table. You know, when it comes time, what have y'all brought to the table for our people to empower us from that past?
That's what Yasha has seen. Because you as an individual man hasn't seen what's satisfied to you, does not mean that it doesn't exist. Are you asking anybody that I know who studies Kemet also deals with healing, like you? The answer is yes.
No, not necessarily. Just anything technology. I'm not just dealing with healing. I brought up Nikola Tesla.
Hold on.
One at a time.
Yasha.
Anything great from the past could have they brought it up, and where have they brought it up to our people?
Yasha, you use yourself as an example of bringing something from the past to heal people today, and that was a good example. You asking if anybody who studies Kemet has studied knowledge from the past and brought it to today to also
yes, that's it.
And
that's the question.
The answer is yes, and the answer is me. I have brought information and technology from the past, and I have healed just like you have healed. So we can move on to another topic because we're both examples. I don't know. I have to believe you, and you have to believe me.
Well, I know about the power. I know about the power of so it's not hard. It's not hard for me to believe that.
All right.
You have.
For a minute. Hold up. Now, one thing that y'all disagreed on was he said that the Israelites didn't exist. I heard that.
Did you?
I heard that. So I would like you to elaborate on that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Okay. Want me to elaborate that the Israelites did not exist? Yeah. What I actually said, he said, did the Israelites exist? And I said, yes. There are sets of people that call themselves Israelites. They exist. They're ancient Israelites in the time of when they were saying they existed? No. No evidence of that. Are there Israelites today like you and...
Is that an appeal to the ignorance to say that it didn't exist because it don't have no evidence? Is that not a logical fallacy?
No, because first...
Oh my God.
Who's that? Who else? Who's in this conversation? Sorry. Oh, they're muted, right, JJ?
Yeah, everybody's muted. Go ahead.
Okay. That's a logical fallacy. To say that it didn't exist because there's no evidence, that is a logical fallacy called appealing to the ignorant.
Only if somebody didn't say that they did exist. But first, there's the first...
Well, it's either or. If I said that it exists because you can't prove it don't, or if I said it the other way, both of those are logical fallacies.
And this is
because
why
the evidence, whether there's evidence or not, does not prove whether something is real or not.
That's why
I can give you an example right here on the streets. If I shot and killed you and I hid the gun, that does not mean that you were not killed.
I don't have conversations based on fantasy. I only use evidence, like you said.
Okay, all right. So let's segue into some more questions from the other audience. Other members. We also got Israel Doctrine and Ahati Ma'at on here. Maybe they can figure out their
I'll say this, with no corpus delecti. With no corpus delecti, I'll change that up to where it will be a fallacy. Well, you can't.
Israel Doctrine is ran from me, right? That's what you're talking about?
Hold on. Get out of order. Hold on. Terry, do you have any more questions so the other people can participate? If so,
well, I pretty much got the meat of my questions out the way.
All right, so y'all gonna figure something out later between you two, right? Y'all gonna set something up later. All right. Now,
I wanna dig up. I'm more than likely I'm going towards the idea of the spirituality. That our spirituality is not the same as theirs, no kind of way. Our belief system and none of that.
Okay.
I never claimed it was.
Okay, we have to go back and watch the tape. That's what we're gonna do.
Are we gonna change the conversation and talk other people or whatever?
Hold up, Israel Doctor. This was their show. This was these two people's show. What do you want to hear? I won't do the Nazareth.
No, I'm done. I asked my question. Brother, I thank you for coming.
All right. Israel Doctor, you.
I thank you for coming.
All right. Thanks for
I thank you for answering my question.
All right.
I appreciate your questions and the tone you asked them in.
All right. Israel Doctor, just hold. All right. Here's the doctrine. Just hold up for 1 minute, please. I'm gonna let you go in with Ahati. Judah Nazareth, you and him, you and the champ, are y'all gonna do a rematch? The same topic, different topic.
Well, he made a claim in our debate, which I clearly wiped the floor with him with, and he supposedly won. But anyway, we know I'm a real champ. But anyway, yeah. Just to solidify what this guy said during our debate when I mocked him in the first round, my first round, he said that the Temple of Solomon, or the Tabernacle of Moses, comes out of the Temple of Karnak, or Luxor. And so audacious claim. I know, bro.
Continue the debate.
I know, bro. It hurts, bro. I know, bro. I know, bro. You would have to go into your Karnak teachings and show that they are parallel. Okay, yeah, I know, bro. Archaeology is not debating, brother. You can't make an audacious claim, okay? And then show some excavation or some archaeology, and then be like, yeah, this comes from, because we actually have teachings from our temple. So then now it's your job. And I'm challenging brother and Ahati.
Brother,
you guys gotta come out of the.
You got it in the plaque. He got it in the plaque, bro.
All right, hold on, bro. Just come on, don't do that. Let him get the floor, man, for 2 or 3 minutes, man.
JJ asked about a rematch, and Judah is trying to continue his points of the debate here. JJ, what do you think?
Okay, just ask. Do we need to say a different topic or same topic? For the rematch. Judah, what do you want to speak on? I mean, y'all want to have a different topic or same topic?
He said that the temple.
Come on, man. We got people watching. Let's not act like we in the back chat, please. We should not know each other.
You can't lie out of this. You can't lie out of this. You said during our debate. All right.
Can you mute this, please?
I'll talk to y'all later, man.
I will do a rematch. Did he answer whether he will do a rematch or not? I will do a rematch.
Okay.
I just said it.
All right. When I'm asking Judah Nazareth, are we doing a different topic or the same?
Different topic.
What do you suggest?
You never answered the first topic in the debate, not once. So I want to show the world again that this whole debating style is on some Masonic-ish stuff. You don't want to be real vague. Oh, I don't come from a study chemist.
I'll tell you what I'll do tomorrow. I'll bring you two on so y'all can just figure out what topic y'all want to debate. How about that? Can we do that?
Well, how about the one who made a claim? He said the Karnak. He said the Tabernacle of Moses. The people of Solomon.
Here you go. Did you hear the topic? Say it again, Judah Nazareth.
I'm not being heard, bro. Calm down, bro. I know. You about to get smoked. You said that the people.
All right, I got him out to mute everybody so he can speak. Come on, man.
This is the champion?
We're still arguing the topic of the debate.
No, he has a different topic. He said, listen, come on, y'all. Let's act like adults, man.
He knows. They're doing this on purpose.
JJ, this is how we do it? You can still argue.
No, but everybody, but listen, if the brother trying to speak, he's trying to tell you his topic that he wants to debate you. He said he wants to debate you on whether or not the Israelites plagiarized the Luxor temple. Is that what you're saying?
JJ, you're not saying that we're going to have a separate conversation to decide the topic? Did you say that, JJ? You're going to have a separate conversation with us?
No, we'll do that later. Let's do that later, because I don't want to get out of hand. We'll do that later. I will bring you two on tomorrow.
Y'all saw it.
And the debate will be in one week from today. No, 1 week from, we'll figure it out later. We'll figure it out. But about a week and a half, what's this? About a week and a half. All right? We'll get it back in. Y'all get it back in. All right, now, let's get to... Go ahead, Judah Nazareth. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing before this guy comes in and tries to interrupt me. You can see the fear on him and his student's face. I just want to say this. If you got watched that first debate, hopefully we get some judges that are who have an above average intelligence who can actually stick to the topic of the debate. Right? Get crayon chewers. Now, bro, I'm just saying, you made a claim, and Ahati was on Facebook and saying that we plagiarized the temple of Solomon and the Tabernacle of Moses from Temple of Luxor. And he called me out. So y'all want smoke? Let's go. You don't want to see no excavation. Actually, you know what? Pull out any pictures you want. You're going to pull out the teacher and pull up the descent. We're going to run from that. Down with Freemasonry.
All right. It's going down again in the den. Boy, hey. Judah Nazareth is trying to come back and get his belt back, and Amenhotep Ra is trying to hold on to it. So look forward to that in about a week and a half, everybody. It's going down. The Comedics is shining. The Comedics the belt is on the Comedic side right now. We got some angry brews. Lurking. These lions, they got blood on their teeth because they ready to go back and eat.
JJ, do you agree that the judges that you handpicked were mentally incompetent?
No, I don't. Because I'm gonna tell you, it was from 5 different walks of life. We had an atheist, a truth seeker, a Hebrew, a Kemetic, and we had Black Jesus Minister. He all of them rolled into one. He's a Kemetic. He's an Assyrian. He's a Christian. He's a kick your ass ecclesiastic Christian. Black Jesus Minister is one of the founding fathers of the Lions Den Debate League, and he gets all the props in the world. That dang. So no, I don't feel that the judges was, but people just feel like.
Then we gonna move on to the next subject.
Israel doctrine, God, come on, everybody.
I just asked the
Hey, I'm not talking to him if I can't see him.
Go ahead, Israel doctor. What you got to say?
I'm not talking to him if I can't see him.
Show your face, Israel doctor.
I've never seen this guy yet on the Lions Den. He doesn't show his face.
What they got to do with anything?
Crickets.
What are we talking about now? What we talking about?
Show your face, or I'm not talking to you.
In the WWF now, I see a lot of WWF stuff go on. I'm not talking to you. You talking to me.
Good, because you ran from me. You ran from me. What are you doing here?
Brother, you say you're not going to talk to me if I don't show my face.
Because
so
you don't show your face. You don't show your face. You know where you show your face? On your solo videos. Oh,
I'm
perfect.
coming for the belt.
Oh, no, that's not you. See, somebody else popped out.
Is that Sosa? Who's that?
So,
who's that there?
I'm getting ready to talk, and this guy just attacking me and ain't saying nothing.
Who's the new person that just entered the room?
All right, look.
I don't know.
If we don't keep it professional, we're going to have to end the show.
That's D1. That's D1, man. I've been on for a long time.
He's a Lions Den. Yeah. Now, he kicked the Hebrew's ass before that. He showed his face, everybody. Everybody happy? There you go.
Yeah, he is. Y'all still.
Oh, there he is. Who's that? That's Israel's doctor.
I'm saying. Why
I know why you don't show your face. Now,
come on, man.
So, hold up.
Sorry.
Why y'all want me to...
See, y'all got mad when DeQuan went in to start talking about people. Now, I don't want to get him started.
I'm saying, do we have a sodomite spirit in here? Do we have a sodomite spirit in here?
A sodomite. You want to get the debate on now? Let's get the debate on now. Let's do a spur of the moment debate.
Brother,
pick a topic.
Look, brother, you're ignorant. It wasn't even a debate. You asked me to go get some artifacts.
I'll destroy you right now.
Can I speak? Can I speak? Can y'all mute his mic so I can speak? Because he apparently don't know how to shut up. So, it wasn't a debate. It was prove your point, and I ain't got no point to prove because I don't have nothing on the table. Then you said, if you go get artifacts, they got to be by the hands of Israelites. You doubled down and tried to make it harder for me. And then you wouldn't even give up the title and just make it artifacts as you did at first. You said, make artifacts appear for me. Then you want Pacific artifacts. Brother, that shows that you're ignorant if you think you're going to put those type of circumstances on me. done. If you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But please,
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. So Israelites have artifacts, correct? Hello?
I said we was gonna have a conversation. You talk and make your point because you can say this is a debate. Cause the debate is simple. How are you gonna put the weight of the world on my back and you don't have nothing to show, nothing to prove, nothing to say? All you gotta say is veto. That ain't no artifact that I accept.
No, you just have to show me. You just have to show me an Israelite artifact made by an actual Israelite.
Now, how do that sound to all the intelligent peoples in the room? We debating, but all I gotta do is
right.
He's telling me to prove
If you
something.
go to me and you say, show me a Ptah-hotep artifact made with Ptah-hotep's own hands, I gotta produce the artifact, correct? If Ptah-hotep it actually made it?
But I know, even your Hotep brother over there knows that Israelites weren't just going around making artifacts like that. So if I do find an artifact,
what did they eat? What did they eat their food in?
Listen, brother. You trying to overpower me. Can I speak?
Did they use bowls? You said they weren't going around just using artifacts. They had to be carrying something to put their food into.
Okay, you can speak. When I can speak, just let me know.
Go ahead and speak, brother.
So check this out. You're saying, Israelite doctrine is saying that Israelites weren't just going around carrying artifacts with them. Great. But they had to be carrying around stuff to hold their food, hold their clothing. I mean, give me, okay, you can pick something famous.
So, okay,
like
what about the Limber tribe? The Limber tribe is
listen. It's simple.
You want me to answer for you, little doctor?
Listen.
All right, brother.
I am not ignorant. Please don't be ignorant with the ignorant ones. He wants to make he's trying to make a certain type of debate, right? That's just like the brother last night or the other night with the title. He got a phone call. He knew exactly what was going on. Don't be ignorant to the propaganda that's ran by the ignorant.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
If you want to debate and go get artifacts and answer his question, then y'all should debate. But if he gonna try to debate me, he's not gonna disrespect my intelligence and put some stupid title down and ask me to produce a planet. Like, you gonna say,
you to produce planets? What?
Damn, dude, can I talk?
I would never ask you. I never asked you to produce
can
planets.
I talk or you want to talk? If you want to talk, then say, can I speak?
Okay,
and then
so
I'll be quiet.
Let's pick an easier topic then. We won't use that topic. Go ahead, pick a topic.
Dear Lord God of Israel, can you at least help this dude keep his mouth shut?
So, are you going to pick a topic or keep talking junk? I don't understand what's going on because you're just wasting time now. So
I don't know what you deal with. All I know is you seem like a hotel ignorant.
That's the point.
Fool.
That's the point. You're not supposed to know what I deal with, else you would win every time. So pick a topic. I'm letting you pick the topic.
I'm letting you pick the topic. You pick the last topic.
I am done. I'm done.
Listen, are you gonna listen or you gonna start crying or y'all gonna negotiate the stuff for me? Or are we negotiating and y'all jumping in it?
We got some weak brothers on here, I'm telling you. Man, I wish we were in the street doing this, being recorded. Woo-wee.
Brother, number one, I'm not gonna cast my pearls to you because you're number slide.
I don't know.
So it's the mystery system. You know what the mystery system is? That's what the other brothers was trying to talk about. The mystery system.
Nobody knows because it's a mystery.
Yeah. And you willing to open your mouth and let pearls out to anybody because you don't You don't know how to keep a mystery.
JJ.
If you don't want to debate him, hold on. If you don't want to debate him, Quan has a topic for Hatimar. Daquan, you there?
Yeah, I'm just being a spectator tonight, man. I'm not saying that to
you good? Go ahead and tell him your topic, brother.
That's crazy.
The original topic was after the slave trade. Damn, I almost lost my thought. After the slave trade, can you prove that my yacht has benefited African Americans more than the Bible?
Ooh, that's a hot topic right there, boy. I think you should.
I can't prove that because I don't know every African American on the planet.
Nah, nigga. No, nigga. As a culture, what has my yacht done? Because again, you niggas claim that wasn't Israelites on that West African slave boat. So if those was Commissions, they should have been practicing Commission culture
I've never
once we
talked
got
to
into
you
the
about a West
Can you
African
shut up? Because I'm
slave
talking now. You're talking, I didn't say nothing.
I've
Shut
never
up.
talked about
Now,
West African slave ship.
Shut up. This is the debate.
Use that with me.
After the slave trade.
You can mute mics. You know you can mute mics, right? Mute that dude.
I'm finna mute mics. I'm finna do it.
Now, again, according to your doctrine that you stand on sucking them damn Amaran balls, you need to show that after the slave trade, once we became fucking niggas over here, whether it was South America, Central America, whatever, show us that my yacht has benefited African Americans more than the Bible. Period.
Oh, hold on. Let me unmute. Hold on.
Talk now.
I got to unmute him. My fault.
It could benefit.
My fault, man. Go ahead.
Even though it could benefit us better than the Bible. How about that? Show us how it could benefit us better than the Bible.
Listen.
After you're done unmuting me,
I did.
I want to address a brother that told me to stop
No, he
sucking
didn't tell
somebody's
you
balls.
that. He didn't tell you that.
I don't talk like that to you because I'm not face to face with you. So don't speak to me that way.
Come on, man.
You're not about it. I never came out my mouth talking to you like that.
All right, come on, man.
I never came out my mouth talking to you like that. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I never told you to suck it.